Okay, today we're making one of my favorite variations of chocolate cake, which I guarantee you are going to fall in love with. We are making a German chocolate cake. This German chocolate cake is made up of super moist chocolate cake layers that are paired with a sweet and nutty, almost toffee-like coconut pecan frosting. It is so ridiculously good. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 180°C or 350°F conventional and grease two 8x3" cake tins. I'm just using my homemade cake release to grease my tins. And then you also want to line the bottoms with parchment paper as well. These cakes are on the fudgy side, so the parchment just helps to make sure that they don't stick to the bottom. Now you just want to pop your cake tins aside for now, and next we're going to start on our chocolate cake. Now this chocolate cake recipe does vary a little from the traditional one used in a German chocolate cake, but I promise you're going to absolutely love this, dark, rich version which just goes so incredibly well with that coconut pecan frosting. So first we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 210 grams or 1 3/4 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 75 grams or 3/4 of a cup of natural cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. And then you just want to give that a good mix with a whisk until it's well combined and set it aside for now. Now next, in a large bowl, you want to add in 200 grams or 1 cup of soft light brown sugar, 200 grams or 1 cup of white granulated sugar, 56 grams or 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter, 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of room temperature whole milk, 105 grams or half a cup of unflavored vegetable oil, I use canola oil, 3 large room temperature eggs, and 2.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And then using a whisk, give that a good mix until it's well combined and smooth. Now to your wet ingredients, you want to add your pre-sifted dry ingredients from earlier, and again using a whisk, mix until well combined. Now to finish off the batter, you want to add in 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of strong hot coffee. I just use 1 tablespoon of instant coffee powder in 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of hot water, and then again using a whisk, mix that in until it's well combined and smooth. You want to avoid over mixing though, so once you have a nice smooth batter that's mixed pretty well, then you want to stop there. So that is our batter all done. It honestly just smells incredible. And now you just want to evenly distribute it into our 2 pre-prepared cake tins from earlier. Now once all the batter is in, I just like to weigh my cake tins just to make sure that I have roughly the same amount in each cake tin. And then you just want to drop the cake tins lightly on the counter to remove any large air bubbles. And now these are going to go into the oven for 38 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs on it. So my cakes are all done now. They look and smell really good. They've been cooling in the cake tins for about 20 to 30 minutes just to give them some time to firm up a little. And now I'm just running a thin knife along the edges to release the cakes from the cake tins and turning them out onto a wire rack to completely cool. Now, if you take a closer look at these cake layers, they are just so incredibly soft and moist. Now, while these cakes continue to cool, we're gonna go ahead and make our super delicious coconut pecan frosting. So to a large saucepan, you wanna add in 150 grams or 3/4 of a cup of soft light brown sugar, 240 grams or 1 cup of evaporated milk, and 3 large egg yolks. And then you want to give that a good stir, and then you want to add in 113 grams or half a cup of unsalted butter, and then place the saucepan over a medium heat. Now you want to bring that to a low boil, stirring frequently to make sure that nothing is burning on the bottom. Now once it starts to boil, you want to let it thicken for about 5 minutes or so, and again you want to stir it frequently, and you want to remember to keep it on a low boil because you don't want to overheat or burn the mixture. So about 5 or so minutes later, you want to take the mixture off the heat and stir in 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 100 grams or 1 cup of chopped pecans, and 120 grams or 1.5 cups of unsweetened shredded coconut. And then just stir that in until everything is well combined and, evenly mixed. And then that is our coconut pecan frosting all done. This stuff is honestly so good. I could literally eat it by the spoon. Now you do need to let this completely cool before we put it onto our cake. So what I like to do is just pour it into a dish or plate, spread it out in a thin layer, and this is just going to help it cool down quicker. So my cake layers and frosting are all cool now, so we can start assembling this cake. So to start off, I'm just going to level the tops of my cake layers. I am going to leave the sides though, because this cake doesn't have any frosting on the sides, so you want to have that nice kind of cake crust left on the edges. Now assembling this cake is so easy. You just want to start off by placing the first cake layer onto your cake stand and then spreading out half of the coconut pecan frosting on top. Then the next cake layer goes on top, and then the remaining frosting is spread out on the top. It does have quite a rustic look to it. And then once you've kind of smoothed it out at the top, then that is your German chocolate cake all done. This cake is so easy to put together and honestly just tastes incredible. It has the most moist, flavor-packed chocolate cake layers that work so incredibly well with that coconut pecan toffee-like frosting. That is so good. This is seriously one of my favorite types of chocolate cakes. The chocolate cake itself just has the most wonderful, rich chocolate flavor to it, and it just works so incredibly well with that, you know, kind of nutty, sweet coconut pecan frosting. If you've never tried a German chocolate cake before, then you absolutely have to give it a go. I promise you're going to love it. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this recipe a go and you love it just as much as I do, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.